What's good, everybody? Welcome back to the journey to consistency. It is day 17. It's your boy, the one and only. We back at it again, and today we're going to review NASDAQ. I'm changing the format of the videos of the journey to consistency. You guys are going to see a lot more organized, um, content. I'm going to make a PowerPoint for every single day that we review. I'm going to try my best to. I know that you guys used to love that in the past, and I was like, yo, what was working in the past? You know, and one of the things that you guys loved about my content in the past was, the organized PowerPoints and me just going over the slides, and it's very clean, organized. It's easy to understand, easy on the eye. So I just want to tell you guys that we're getting better. We're getting back to where we used to be. I love you guys. Thank you so much for the support. Yesterday I uploaded a video of the M2 model. If you haven't checked that out, go ahead and check that out. That's a banger. Literally, that is a banger. If you guys review all of the days where I have made the largest returns on my PA account, then you guys would always see that model present when we took a trade. So I just want to let you guys know I'm on to them. I know what is good for me. I know what works for me. So the M2 model is just a way for me to express pretty much what's been working for me. So besides the point, let's get to it. Today is Friday, man. Today was an amazing day. I didn't trade on my personal account. I wanted to so badly, but I had told you guys and I told myself that I was not going to trade. I literally told myself, yo, I'm not going to trade. Like, I know that, like, the funny thing was, guys, I knew today was going to be a high probability day, and I wanted to just say no. Like, I was literally so eager to just pull up my personal account this morning because I was like, yo, I know this Friday is going to be high probability for many reasons, which we'll touch on in a little bit later. But I was like, yo, I know I can make like an easy 200 plus return here today, but I told myself I was going to be done for the week, and I rather have the good habits in place to listen to myself. Like, if I tell myself I'm not going to trade on my personal account, I'm not going to trade on my personal account. If I tell myself, let's say I'm doing a challenge and I say, yo, I'm not going to trade that challenge anymore, I made enough for the week. Like, I want to practice the ability to stop, and then the other days I can still get to experience by paper trading. This is why I tell you guys, it's good to still paper trade. It's still good to get that experience, and it just be more like when I'm on my paper trading account, it's more about, a drill, like just trading what I see and seeing how everything pans out. Still following, discipline with price action, discipline with time, all these things, but we're just pretty much exercising on the paper trade account. So let's get to the video anyways. Today I traded on the paper trading account. I just started a new one today because I was like, you know what? If I'm going to have a paper trading account, I might as well just make a new one. And now that I'm posting the paper trade entries and all that stuff, so I could still journal it and still hold myself accountable, still have you guys hold me accountable, and we can all learn from this. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to now document also the paper trading account. So I opened up a 5K trading account today because it's very realistic to like what I would put into a personal account nowadays and what I would be aiming for, to be honest. So I'm in that range bracket in my real life as well. Well, in my real life. So that number to me, like having it as an account, a personal account, it's realistic. So I'm trading with a realistic size. So now let's get into the video. Sorry for mouthing so much, but anyways, this is the review for today, and it's of course the NASDAQ for October 11th, 2024 by your boy SiriFX. And these are the highlights for today's review in NASDAQ. On the daily time frame, we were expecting higher prices into the buy side liquidity and fair value gap. If you guys look on a daily time frame, Thursday fails to take the buy side liquidity that we were in proximity to. And so I was like, you know what? Friday today, we're going to do that. And also there's a fair value gap above that buy side liquidity. And the consequent encroachment is literally just floating above the buy side liquidity. So there's like a lot of confluences for price going higher. On top of that, again, interest rates are going lower. We're expecting higher prices in indices, and Nasdaq being the bullish girlfriend here. And also, Friday in proximity to liquidity makes Friday a high probability day. On the 1 hour, we saw a large wick. It had a gap. Also, we found ourselves being touched or price rejecting off a rejection block. On the 5 minute, it was a classic overnight session day, sell side taken and buy side taken. And on the 1 minute, we saw market structure shifts. We saw breakaway gaps, and with breakaway gaps, we saw speed. And the narrative was that liquidity was still intact. Of course, we were below midnight opening price. We were at a discounted price. We were pulling away from 10 a.m. So there's a lot of things to talk about and a lot of things to showcase. I want to, again, keep this organized, concise, so that you guys can enjoy it and it can be easy on the eyes and the ears. So on the daily time frame, this is what we have. We have the buy side liquidity, and again, this is the Thursday candle. This is today's candle. Not even today did we take out this buy side liquidity. Coming into next week, definitely we are expecting that for sure. Monday can be the marker to take out this buy side liquidity. I think that Monday is definitely I'm leaning on Monday taking out this buy side liquidity, just because we didn't take it on Friday. It'll be crazy to see them possibly even try to do that during Sunday. I'm not betting on that, but I'm saying it would be crazy. But we are in close proximity to this buy side liquidity here. This is the Friday candle close. This is the fair value gap we've been speaking about for the longest. And again, this is on the daily time frame. The 1 hour here, we have this is a large wick we're looking at. So we have this consequent encroachment here of this wick. We were inside of this fair value gap. I didn't want to draw this out to make this messy and all that and whatnot, whatever. But this is a fair value gap, and this is what ICT would consider a busy buy side, imbalance, sell side inefficiency. And we trade down into it once. We have higher prices, and then we come back down to it. And then, of course, coupled with this, we have this wick here. Large wicks deserve and have a consequent encroachment at the mean threshold of the wick. So you guys have to always pay attention to that. The bodies closing above that is what gives this off as a tipping hand. Also, if you guys draw a line at the 7 a.m., a vertical line on 7 a.m., you guys can see there is our change in the state of delivery. Change in the state of delivery is the accumulation of the counterparty. So when they take this out, the opposing liquidity run, it happens at what time? Right after 7 a.m. Very timely. And then we have price scream. Midnight open is above us. Obviously we're bullish. Midnight open is in the premium side of the range. When New York opens, we are in discount of the range. So them reaching back into the midnight opening price and eventually going higher was our goal. Remember, this is the buy side liquidity at 2537.75, and we couldn't even get above that today because we had this rejection block here. So I drew this rejection block out as the highest PD array before leaving the range. That would affect price, and that's exactly what happened there. On the 5 minute, clear as day, overnight session, sell side liquidity taken. This is that 1 hour consequent encroachment of the wick. You see how price forms an order block here, and then we have the change in the state of delivery confirmation. We change the state of delivery, then we come back and retrace into the consequent encroachment of the wick at 9:30. I also want you guys to pay attention here real quick. This is the lowest internal failure swing right here. This right here is the lowest internal failure swing. So they came back to it and we rejected strong off of that level. We came obviously into the rejection block here, and then you guys see how price starts to melt down after that and is having a hard time to break above this. And then we create a high resistance liquidity pool here. So when they come back here, down here, it becomes hard for them to break above all this mess here, because this becomes a high resistance liquidity run during the PM session. So that's what we had there. We also had this fair value gap here on the 5-minute. I wanted to point this out because another trading opportunity came from this. If you guys were on the screen at the time, you guys could have capitalized off of that. There was definitely something for me to improve with this long that I took here. It was that I didn't take my number one with the short. I took the short around here, but I didn't pay myself here because I didn't expect them to bounce off of this consequent encroachment. They just came into it and they rejected. I thought it was going to go lower, so I didn't really gain much from that trade. I gained like a quick $60, but when my max run up on this probably was like 140. And then same with this one, my max run up with the two contracts was like 140 as well, 160. But I couldn't pay myself because I was so heavy on the fact that we were going to go higher. And same thing when we got this low here. I thought we were going to go lower and rebalance all this, but they obviously rejected off of this. And I'm very adaptable, very quick. So I'm not trying to be right. I'm just trying to just look at price. What is price telling me? Are we in a high probability condition or a low probability condition? And so let's now go to the 1 minute. The 1 minute is beautiful. And so with the 1 minute, we have here again, overnight session. If you guys don't know the time for overnight session, I already posted a video on how to use overnight session, what the hell is overnight session, and how can you use it to your advantage. So if you guys haven't watched that video, I definitely recommend that you check that video out before you start asking a bunch of questions. But 4 a.m. to 8 a.m. is the overnight session. We have here a short-term high that can possibly become a market structure shift. So I was eyeing that this morning. Then we retrace back down to where the consequent encroachment of that 1 hour wick. We have an order block on the 1 minute coupled with that, also with the internal failure swing, the lowest internal failure swing here. So that is where price is going when we retraced. Retracements seek internal failure swings. So we went to the lowest failure swing that existed in the deep discount, and retracement came. They targeted that, and then you guys see the runaway. They ran away into the rejection block, of course, but my entries came from not all the way down here. I already knew that this was going to be a bullish day, but I needed more information down here. I wanted to see how they reacted here off of this order block here and how they reacted off of the failure swing. We have 10 a.m. opening price. It comes down and comes up, and I told myself, at this high, they should leave a breakaway gap, and we do. So you'll see on my paper trading account, I enter this long here, right here. When it's coming down into this the consequent encroachment of this wick, I literally entered along right there, targeting the midnight open and also the daily buy side liquidity that didn't get hit, but I still had this rejection block outlined here. I was like, this is the last area where they should screen buy. If they don't screen by this, then we're in trouble. And so me seeing this price action led me to believe that they were not trying to break above that just yet. So I closed my position because I know that I was already, once I traded this, I traded the creation of the 5 minute fair value gap. So once they had the 5 minute fair value gap, I was like, they could possibly return into that. So I closed around like this candle right here. When I saw it turning down, when it took this low right here with this candle, I just closed right there. And then them closing below here, going below this market structure shift, I knew this was going to be a breakaway gap. Why? Because we have a imbalance that they wanted to reach to. We're in premium, and they're leaving these gaps behind. And so then they came, did that market structure shift. We're expecting this to be a breakaway gap. This is an institutional order flow entry drill. We entered short here. You guys are going to see that entry later. And then we came down, and then when I saw this wick back into this range, remember how I told you guys that we can treat candles as overnight session? They took the sell side liquidity of this candle that took liquidity, this right here, them reversing, coming from the consequent encroachment of this fair value gap on the 5 minute, coming back into the range. This to me said, this is a very possibility for a very high probability reversal. Then we had the market structure here, the market structure shift here. I knew this was going to be a breakaway gap. We saw this wick right here. The consequent encroachment became important, and I entered long here with 2 contracts, and I was aiming for these highs here. But then again, they failed to take that, and then they come back down, and I take my position off like around here because I was like, yeah, it's turning around. This is supposed to have speed above this range right here because this is very choppy up and down. So that was going to cause problems for price. So I said they should have us, after we took this order block here, they should have us reach that buy side liquidity with speed. Them failing to do so lets me know automatically that we have changed the probability of order flow and that I should be careful to hold on to a bias. So I just took my trade off, and that's just something that I'm trying to practice whenever I see order flow turning around against me. Again, we're repelling away from 10 a.m. We're leaving breakaway gaps behind. Fair value gaps, we're respecting the consequent encroachment of wicks. This wick doesn't even come down into this consequent encroachment. That literally lets you know the strength. They're not even willing to go down to the consequent encroachment, and they want to leave this place open. Today was a very, very nice day. One of the things I'm proud about is how I told myself I wouldn't trade on my personal account because I was done for the week. And I knew that today was a high probability day. Like today could have been that day where I could have had my largest day on my personal account. But me having the confidence that I don't need to be making money all the time and I should be more focused on honing the skill set and the craft. Bro, that's the most amazing thing for me because that's like everything to me. It says everything about my maturity and where I'm getting to. There's always going to be a time to make money, and like since we're like babies in this, our priorities should be focused on learning and honing the craft and the skill set, the craft. There's going to be a time for us to make money, trust me. Ecclesiastes says there is a time for everything. And when you get to the time where it is your time to make money on these charts, to the grand scheme of things of that what you see in social media, you see your favorite mentor or your favorite trader, he's making like $20,000 a day. That's going to be you one day. That might not even be to the grand scheme of things that of what you might accomplish. Like you never know where you're going to get to. The things that, you know, you dream of, they might seem unimaginable now, but you literally have no idea what God has for you. All you know is that he placed this desire in your heart so that you would start trading, start taking care of your family, learn the skill set, and put you in the right rooms, the right group chats, the right environments, put you with the right people, the right YouTube channels, the right videos. You know, God's already, you know, preparing you to get to that point, but you have to lean on that desire. I was having a conversation with a friend, and he said, you know, what is your definition of being passionate? And my definition of being passionate is living out the desires of your heart. Now, let me be very clear on that. Men have horrible desires. Everything that comes out of a man's heart is continuous evil. It says that in Genesis. We are born sinners. And when the desires that are placed on our heart are bad, obviously you don't want to live those out. That's not being passionate. That's being foolish. That's being wicked. And that's literally not being righteous. But if you have the desire to be a provider, be of service to others, help people learn this skill set, you know, start breaking chains, leave an inheritance for your grandchildren, and you want to break the financial curses over your family, and you want to start afresh, a new generation that would actually know how to steward money, how to be, you know, people who can, you know, pretty much finance their future. This is one of those desires that you guys can obviously say is a good one. This is not an evil desire that you want to make money here. that you want to multiply your money, that you want to provide for your family, even inheritance. These are things that we were called to do. And the Bible has said that. I told you guys, you don't need someone to prophesy over you. You don't need a Christian family member to tell you if this is good or not. It does not matter what they say. It is not morally incorrect. It's something that we are supposed to do, period. It is just a different way of doing it. Some people think that, you have to slave to make money. Okay, if you want to, but from what I know that when the master gave away the coins to the slaves had to multiply that. How did they multiply it? It didn't matter how they multiplied it. The question is it being multiplied? And so don't feel bad for wanting to trade and making this a reality. Don't feel bad for no one. Don't let no one tell you that this is a bad thing. I've let people do that to me. I've let people gear me off of my true desire and my passion. And literally, do not let worry do that for you. Do not let people do that for you. Do not let family, friends, whoever it is. It could be the president. You do not waver your faith. If you want this, go get it. But you have to work for it. Nobody's going to give it to you. I'm not going to give you a handout. The next person's not going to give you a handout. So trust me. Just stick to the process. Hone the skill set. Literally practice this craft. If this is what you want, let this be the thing that you want. All right? Anyways. These are the entries. I love that I did this, that this was able to fit. So this is the first trade that I told you guys about. There goes the consequent encroachment. Oh, he only put that, annotation afterwards. This is all hindsight. He didn't really trade that. He didn't really think that was going to be a breakaway gap. Look what time is it. It's 10:34 in the morning. We see the breakaway gap. I'm already onto them. Consequent encroachment. They retrace back into it. Once this candle comes up, 2 contracts. Look at the rejection block up there. Oh, he didn't know that there was possibly going to hit the rejection block. Okay. Midnight open. Okay. So I'm telling you guys, I'm literally trying my best to hone this craft. And we should all be doing the same thing too. So besides that, they came into midnight opening. We saw how they were respecting midnight opening here. They had a little order block here that was inside of the new daily opening gap. And I was telling myself, I was like, all right, they might use this order block to scream higher now. And then they came back here. They used a rejection block again. I literally took myself out of the trade. This was the institutional order flow entry drill that we were talking about. I expected this to be a breakaway gap. I didn't have it annotated, but the logic was there. As you could see, look where my stop loss is because of how much faith I had that they were not going into this. Then they scream lower. Then they come in here to the fair value gap. This is the 5-minute fair value gap that we were talking about. A breakaway gap was expected here. Market structure shift. As I told you guys, we entered literally inside or as the breakaway gap was forming. 2 contracts. I wanted to see the buy side liquidity being taken out. And then, of course, they start failing on all of this stuff. So then I close my trade. And these are all micro contracts. So I put 2 here. I put 1 here. I put 2 here. These are all micros. Keep in mind that I'm trying to have a realistic trading simulation. So like I'm trying to mimic what my real life or personal account would be like. And so today we started off at 5,000 and the realized P&L was 277 with 55 cents. So it's not to say that the P&L is important, but just to show you guys what I was doing. And we only took 3 trades also. So we took 3 trade setups and we stopped. That's it. That's all we took. 3 trades. We stopped. It fits in with the rules that I have for myself in my own personal trading. So it's literally trying to mimic the same exact conditions just on a paper trading account, literally. And so we're going to talk about something there was another gem over there. I spoke wisdom earlier, but I'll speak wisdom again. So Proverbs, if you guys don't know, is the book that Solomon wrote, and this book is full of wisdom. And I wanted to touch on today's proverb that we're gonna be going over, and it pretty much says, "People who accept discipline are on the pathway to life." Pause. In the Bible, life is referenced to something that God gives. It is the blessings that God gives. It is the light that God gives. It is everything that a righteous person desires, which is life. Even in the form that he resurrected, he came from death to life. Same thing with the days. Even the days of our lives are orchestrated that way, where we start the day with darkness and we finish the day off with light, because the start of the day is in your evenings, okay? Or, I'm sorry, evenings, but it's the night prior. So, like, for example, Friday or Saturday starts in the Friday night into Saturday morning. That is Saturday. And so forth. The same criteria and standard is for every single day. So even our days are orchestrated in that sense, where we start off with darkness, which is night, and then we finish the day with light. Life is to those who accept discipline. Wow. And are on the pathway to life. Are you consistently trying to better yourself? Are you cutting off those friends that are bringing you down? Are you accepting discipline not only within yourself, but from others? People who love you, like your dad, right? He's giving you instructions to life, and you decide to do everything that goes against what he taught you. Now, there's certain things, obviously, that you have to discern. If he tells you, oh, don't trade, trading is stupid, and he doesn't trade, don't take that advice. But if he gives you wisdom off of something that only is to help you, and you reject it, the same way that you reject God when we do our sinful things and we're inside of our sinful nature, is the same way how when we reject discipline, we are on our path to darkness, but when we accept it, we are on our pathway to life. And so it continues, but those who ignore correction will go astray. If you ignore the discipline, if you ignore the constructive criticism, if you ignore wisdom from those who have done it, been in your shoes, or the shoes that you want to fill, they've been there, done that, and you are literally going against the grain, and you're trying to tell them that they're wrong because you feel like you're a superhero, or you're young, you have the most health in the world, or you feel like you're different, as if you are the special, unique being in the one whole entire world, that your situation would be against the discipline and the experience they have over their lives. Again, do with what you want, with what I just said, and discern, of course, but you know when someone is giving you good advice, and you know when someone's giving you bad advice. And your job is to accept the discipline of the good things and not ignore the correction of those who love you and are trying to see you win and prosper. If someone's holding you accountable, don't get mad at them, but rather listen and try to see it from the fact that they're looking from outside within. They're looking at you from the third perspective. And a lot of us, when we think about ourselves, we can be very biased. And we don't care what other people have to say about us because, again, we are the unique situation. We are fit to our own bias, so much so that we forget about the possible learning experience from others. And being wise is learning from others. Being intelligent is learning quick enough from your own mistakes, and being dumb is rejecting or ignoring correction. It is foolish, wicked. Be wise, my friends. God bless you guys all, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Have a great rest of your weekend, and I'll see you guys tomorrow or next week. I also want to remind myself, I don't think they're going to take out the buy-sell liquidity on Monday. Why? Because it is a holiday. I forgot it's a federal holiday, so they're not going to take it out on Monday. Wow, what a way to end the video. But good, better, best. Never let it rest. So your good is better and your better is best. God bless you guys all. Have a great day and a great night. Love you guys all. Peace.